5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hey, what's up? This is the Morning Momentum. I'm Richie.
I'm Ethan.
And it's a beautiful day here, July 11th.
1-1.
Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And Ethan, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. You glad
Relaxed.
it's
Monday? I am, I guess.
Your Monday's not really until Tuesday,
It's not like,
right?
yeah, it's not that crazy. It gives me more time to do stuff.
How is it having a 4-day weekend?
The first few weeks where I was working was really nice, but then when you get used to it, it's just kind of like, you know, I don't even want to go. When I go back to school, I'll be in classes 4 days a week.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Ooh.
So I only have a 3-day weekend.
What's that schedule look like for you?
Actually, I have Thursday off, so it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday off, Friday.
Interesting. How'd you end up with a Thursday off?
I think I just have there's Monday, Wednesday classes and Tuesday, Thursday. I don't have any Tuesday, Thursday, but I have a Tuesday lab on one of the days, I think.
Now, what class would that lab be for? Is that your
Earth history, geology.
Earth history?
Yeah.
Okay, because are you still minoring in that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I can't let it go, man.
Is this your last geography class?
Geology.
No, geology. My bad.
The final semester, I'm doing an independent study where I'm going to be making a video about.
So you're going to use your major to help with your minor.
To finish my minor out.
Okay.
That's what happens when you got cool professors.
And what are you going to make that about then? Do you know?
I think he said I can make it about the Earth history. Since I had just done it, I can keep notes and stuff from the class, and then next semester I can make a video about it.
Like Earth history as in beginning to where we're at now in the transformation of the Earth, or?
Maybe. Soils and things like that. Creation of that, I think.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't have any ideas on what it's going to look like.
You should do it on coal and the transformation of coal.
I mean, I guess that's Earth history, yeah.
Because you could start with a lump of coal and end with a diamond.
Well, I think I would start with plants.
Oh, is that where you'd start?
And then get to coal.
And then I
could do diamonds, I guess.
Would you throw power in there at some place? Coal can produce power.
Probably.
Have you ever seen a coal mine?
I don't think so.
It's pretty crazy. Where we have property down in Kentucky, and where that's at, they produce a lot of coal down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so growing up as a kid, you'd always see the coal mines and all the machinery that they had and
that's pretty
all
cool,
that stuff.
I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible job to me. It's very unhealthy.
I can imagine.
Because you're just breathing in that coal dust all the time. And
yeah. Here in Ohio, we have gravel and sand mines, mainly.
Yeah.
It's a big product.
Actually, we just saw the other day, now that you're talking about gravel and sand, we were in Columbus, and they were producing this whole new subdivision. Massive. I mean, we're talking acres and acres and acres and acres, probably one of the biggest subdivision that I've seen, where it's starting off fresh, okay?
Okay.
And they had actually built a concrete plant at this subdivision that they're building because of the amount of concrete they're going to need. Isn't that insane?
It's impressive.
That's what I thought. It blew my mind. Instead of trucking it in, they're just making it right there. So as they're digging up the land and getting it ready for all this stuff, they're just taking the rock and setting it over by this concrete, whatever.
I guess whatever makes it easier.
And
I don't know.
That's crazy, though.
That is crazy.
Yeah, we got a lot of that in clay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have very clay soil.
Yeah. Not much as far as acidic soil goes. When I used to do landscaping and we would plant plants that needed acidic soil, we would use pine needles a lot of time to supplement with that, and that would help that a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
yeah, I think our soil's basey or whatever. I don't know.
You know what I think is really cool, Ethan, and you might know this. I don't know. Maybe this isn't geology. I don't know. But So I started doing landscape stuff probably early 2000. I was young. I was maybe 8th grade. Started doing some mowing stuff, and then I evolved into doing some planting and some installs and some design work and so on and so forth. And like if you take our country, it was divided up into zones. So you had like Zone 7 and Zone 6, and we were a Zone 8. And Kentucky and South was like a Zone 7. And each zone, you've got different types of plants that can grow and produce in those areas.
Right.
Well, since I began to where we're at now, we're actually now what Kentucky, Tennessee used to be in our area. And so we can plant stuff in Ohio that we never used to be able to plant.
I was gonna say I thought we were in like Zone 5 or 6.
Yeah, we've moved now, and so
you can find that. I only know that because like I used to have a garden, and that stuff's on the back of the little seed packets. Yeah.
So we've changed zones over the past 20 years.
Pretty interesting.
And it's cool though because like, did you know that I used to have a palm tree? I used to have a palm tree, and
pretty cool.
It did pretty well here. So
very nice.
I would love if Ohio at some point could start producing palm trees. It would just make my life a whole lot easier.
We probably did way back in the day. Do you know Ohio used to be like underwater? So they say. By a little
I've heard
bit,
that.
And it was like a beach. That's why our state fossil is a trilobite, which is an underwater bug.
That's nice.
They're really big though, I think.
Have you ever seen one? Well, that's cool though, man. So you got geology, you're working on that class. You got a lab in that, and you got some video work you got to do, and then you start in the final semester on your senior project, or do you start that your first semester?
First semester.
So it's a whole year thing.
Whole year.
Okay.
See how it goes.
What's your senior project then?
A short film.
Okay. Like movies time short? Okay. Animated or?
Real people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to be like a real life thing, Jersey Shore type, or
reality? No, it's not going to be anything like that. I hope it's good though. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Do you already have your movie stars picked out?
No, I was going to try and work with Wittenberg's theater department and see if they have any students that want to help out.
Okay.
Because that could really be detrimental if I don't have any actors.
So how long is this short film?
I don't know. I'll have to see when I make it.
Like
I'm thinking like 30 minutes maybe.
Okay, that's why I was curious. I didn't know if short films were like 7 minutes.
It just varies, yeah.
Because Disney short films are short, like 7 minutes, 8 minutes long.
I was thinking a little bit longer, but it could be because I made one that was like 15 minutes long or something last semester.
So do you have a script?
I'm working on it.
Okay. And you can't give us any insight as to what it's going to be. I mean,
I don't know.
Is it going to be comedic? Is it
it's not going to be comedic. There might be some elements in it that are kind of funny, but the overall theme is very
is it
dramatic.
Dark?
It's
dramatic.
Not dark. It might be to some people, but I don't think it is.
Okay. Are there serial killers?
It has to do with like memories and stuff in your life.
Okay. I think I've seen a movie like that.
I don't know. Memento.
Well, that's cool, man.
I'm making Memento too.
Is this going to be somewhere where people are going to be able to view it when you're done with it? I think it'd be cool to see.
I don't know. I'll probably put it on YouTube.
Could we have a watch party at the church?
If it's good enough.
Okay.
Is it going to be on YouTube?
What do you think it's going to be rated?
I don't know. PG. It's not going to be that crazy.
Okay. So it's not PG-13. It's not. Okay. All right. That's cool though. Our listeners need to hear this stuff. I think it's cool.
Maybe.
So
I feel like, tell me if I'm wrong, this podcast feels very slow right now.
A little bit.
We need to pick it up.
So, Ethan.
I guess my life is just slow. Geology and classes.
We'll just call you the sloth.
I mean, that's probably accurate.
So, is there any national holidays this week?
There is. There's a lot. Some good ones.
Give us the top two.
This is National Donut Week.
Okay,
so you
the
can
whole
get
week.
donuts all week if you want.
All right.
All-American Pet Photo Day. Take some pictures with your pets.
Okay.
All-American. I think that's kind of funny. It's like All-American football team or something. It is International Town Criers Day, which I thought was funny. You know what a town crier is?
Yeah,
Have you ever heard a town crier before?
There was a movie that I watched that had.
Yeah,
I'm trying
okay,
to
a
remember what the movie
movie?
was. Was it? What movie was that?
There's probably a lot of movies that have town criers.
Yeah.
Shrek. There's probably one in Shrek.
That's awesome.
National 7-Eleven Day.
Like the
Like
gas station, convenience store?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which they bought Speedway.
Well, that makes sense because it's 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you know what else it is? Because it's National Free Slurpee Day. So it's their free Slurpee Day.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We should try that out. Is there a 7-Eleven even around here?
I don't know. But you can get them at Speedways because Speedway sells Slurpees instead of Speedy Freezes now. That's like, it was part
But
of the
they're probably
change.
not free at Speedway.
They probably are because they're part of the same thing.
Okay, well.
7-Eleven. I don't know. I looked it up. So if you want one, you can look it up on Google. Free Slurpee Day.
Okay.
And there'll be a website and tell you how to do it. Because I think you have to download an app or something.
Love it.
Pretty
Cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
A couple more here. National State Fair Food Day.
I like State Fair.
Fairs are
Food.
starting to come around, so fair food's coming up. And then I think this one's pretty good. It is Cheer Up the Lonely Day.
I'm so lonely.
Mr. Lonely
I have nobody.
for my own. Ooh.
Okay.
Cheer 'em up.
Cheer
Just
up
be
that
nice
guy.
to people.
That old guy. Maybe
Sure.
maybe the young guy.
Maybe you need cheering
Maybe
up.
you need it.
We'll do our best today.
So, hey, Sunday we talked about Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah's an interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
600 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Think about how bad he had to look. He needed cheering up.
Yeah.
At 600 years old, think about the wrinkles, man. Think about the skincare regimen that he would have had to undergo. Good night.
Do you think there's a point at which you stop looking old and start looking young again after?
Like, you just start going backwards.
Yeah, it's just like God.
Maybe-
The wrinkles get so long they start to tighten up and you get
Maybe
young
they were
again.
like Edward from Twilight.
Mhm. Just
where,
vampires.
Like, just eventually they just stop aging, so they're like 17 their entire life. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
Noah was this like ripped bodybuilder.
He had a
that-
huge beard in everything we see. All those pictures.
Every
and stuff.
picture's got him in a beard, though. But I'm telling you, man, I don't know.
Evan Almighty. Beard.
Evan Almighty. I know that movie. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Did you ever watch that movie?
Of course.
Dude, so funny.
That's pretty good.
And-
Steve Carell's funny.
Steve Carell. I struggle now. I am a huge Office fan, and I struggle to watch movies with him in it, especially when he's trying to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
We just watched the new Doctor Strange
Okay.
movie,
Mhm.
and oh man, I just lost his name. The guy that played Jim,
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski's in it.
Yeah.
And it was like, what? Like, he died really quick. Oh, I'm sorry. If you didn't
It's
watch
been
the
out for a
movie, my
little
bad.
bit, but
He died really quick in the movie. It's like, who is this?
yeah.
But
That's how I feel too.
But that's cool though. And then there was this movie called, literally, it was named Noah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you ever see that one? And
I
they had
never
like
saw
these
that one.
rock figures that protected the ark and all this stuff. You know, here's the reality of it. When I think about that story of Noah, you know, a lot of times you learn that story when you're growing up as a child.
Right.
You know, it's one of those stories. In fact, I'm going to just say this, like, it's one of those stories that's even reproduced a lot in film, even if it's not about Noah. For example, there was a movie, I think it was called, I might be wrong on this, but I think it was like called 2000 or something like that. But it was a movie about all the nations coming together and creating all these arcs. And there was a big
Okay.
flood that was going to take over the entire earth, and people had to, billionaires had to buy their tickets for their families and stuff. And I can't remember what the movie was called, but I've seen it a couple times. But you know, what's that? That's ripping off Noah and
Ripping
the
the
Ark,
Bible
even though
off.
they're not saying that it is. But like everything they even talked about in that movie. And you actually see that a lot in Hollywood, where they use a lot of different biblical stories and stuff like that. But I think Noah has been reproduced a lot in different ways in Hollywood.
Yeah, I would agree.
But, you know, when you think about it, you know, sometimes it just blows my mind. Now, I got to ask you, Ethan.
Okay.
I've never been.
Here we go.
Have you gone to the Ark
No.
Encounter? Okay.
Is that the thing?
That's the thing in Kentucky.
I've never been.
I've never been either. I've heard it's kind of cool.
I'm sure it would be cool. It's just like a life-size replica, right?
It's a life-size replica of the Ark.
Yeah.
Did you know they do sleepovers there? You could do a sleepover. That'd be funny. But I'm going to tell you, like, when you think about this and the magnitude behind it, number one, Noah saved a lot of animals. So he took 2 animals of each. My question is, that's not talked about in the Bible. What if an animal was asexual? Did he take 2 still, or did he just take 1?
Right.
I learned in Jurassic Park the other day that there are some frogs that can actually change their gender based off of
the temperature.
No, based off of the need and the elements. So if there's, like if you ever watch Jurassic Park, and I actually Googled this to look to see if it was true or not, but it is true. But like if they're in a male-dominated area, then they can actually change themselves to have female to be able to reproduce in the climate. And so therefore in Jurassic Park, when you watch the movie, the dinosaurs, even though they were all supposed to be female, were able to reproduce because they had this gene in them that was able to do that from this frog. I looked it up. I can't remember what frog it is, but it's a frog from the Amazon that's capable of doing that.
From the Amazon.
I know. We have frogs here.
I will say though, despite that, you would still need 2 frogs. So, but I always get confused with like the little ones, like worms. Like what's going on there? You know?
Did they just float all the time?
Maybe.
You think about that.
If you're underwater animals, though,
snails.
Yeah.
Snails.
Escargot stuff.
They were like chilling over by the bears or something like that. Like,
what's going on?
The rhinos,
really little pins.
The rhinos. Now, here's the other part. Did they take? For example, there's 2 different types of camels. You have 2 hump and you have 1 hump. Did he take both sets of camels?
Right.
Did the 2 hump just somehow happen after from the 1 hump, or vice versa? And then it just, what's the deal?
Right.
What about elephants? You got Asian, you got African elephants.
Right.
Did he take African and Asian elephants? Did they take the small ears and the big ears?
I agree. I think camels, I think I saw somewhere camels like are from America, or they were here in America.
I don't know about that.
It'd be wild.
I know there's
Some
like
stuff,
a
though.
Bactrim camel, and there's a drama something camel. That's
Well,
the
like
difference
buffalo, aren't they from America? What's going on there?
between buffalo. But this goes back to our discussion that we had, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago when we talked about creation story, and we were talking about how all of land, was together, and what if that's when things just kind of split up? Was there
Right.
different countries at that point, or maybe because we know a lot about water and how water can really, separate things and work through things. I mean, look at
Weather.
the Grand Canyon, right?
Right.
I mean, that wasn't done because of an earthquake, right?
Correct.
Okay. And so, like, could that have been the time that the Earth finally, like, split up a little bit? Like, who knows? We don't know this thing. We're just talking here.
Right. Just thinking through it.
In your geology mind, what's your thought?
I don't know.
I'm thinking,
I always
if
try
he
and
had
put
these
that
animals,
stuff together. I always try and connect them. But I
if
don't
these
know.
animals came, I'm thinking the Earth had to still be together at that point. I'm just saying, like, if he got 2
hard,
of every.
It's hard when you're thinking about it because you're like, all right, let me think about this geologically. But it's like, well, I mean, geology doesn't go to God's rules, So it's like, it's that kind of thing too.
The question is, I mean, truly, honestly, this is the question.
The
in my
ultimate
brain,
question
is like, did they
where are the
swim
ducks?
over? Did they just show up? What happened?
Yeah, I guess.
Or was it all together and they were just there? They were able to literally walk.
I don't know, but there's also that like land bridge, the snow bridge between America and Russia. Stuff you got to think about, man. Second question though, like where are the dinosaurs?
Oh, we
The
know what happened
ultimate.
with them.
But I always thought about that too,
Yeah,
with flooding and
yeah. It's like,
I
when
don't
did
know.
dinosaurs? Because that's the question that a lot of people have, and I've read different things, which is really interesting to see that like there's people that believe in creation as in like there might have been hundreds to thousands of years between each step of creation. And dinosaurs were a part of creation, and before man came, that was taken care of. There's other things that say that they walked hand in hand together. That there's all these different thought processes and stuff. And even to the point of when you talk dinosaurs, this is one that I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, I'm not jumping on board with. But like, there was even thought that in the garden that was more of a dinosaur, because then God made him slither on his belly, and so you had this reptile that was walking. in essence.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but that's
I
what
don't know.
that's what that's what you have an imagination for,
Right.
right?
Right.
I mean, that's what it's all for. And so here's Noah. We don't know. The guy could have been 17, looking 17 his whole life, chiseled, ready to roll.
Or
he could have been this
just
old 600
really
guy with
bad.
the biggest wrinkles you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
And he's got his kids. And at one point, he was a congressman. No, wait, no, that was Evan.
Oh, yeah,
that was
right,
Evan.
yeah.
But like, here's this guy, and he builds this ark that's massive, and the whole thing behind it, God tells him, like, hey, I'm going to send you 2 of every animal, and so he starts getting these animals showing up, and I think he picked him because he was okay. He wasn't scared of some of these animals. If I was called to this, forget it.
But there wouldn't be spiders anymore.
There wouldn't
which
be
I would
spiders.
be fine with.
There wouldn't be snakes.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be no way that I'd be caught dead on a boat for 150 years or whatever.
What do you think he did about like termites and like wood boats and bugs?
I don't understand it, man. Like some of the stuff that he. Why Noah?
I don't know.
Why Noah?
We can move on.
At some point, I'm going to ask him that. Like that's one of my number one things I want to do in heaven.
How?
How and why?
Well, we know why.
Why the mosquitoes though?
For bats to eat. But then why do we have bats?
Did he save
Eliminate
bats, or
both
did they
of them.
just fly around for a while?
Bats
I'm just
can't
saying.
fly for that long.
I'm just saying.
I feel like he probably had birds. He did have birds.
He had birds. I'm sure
Maybe
he had
didn't
birds.
have the albatross, which flies for days and whatever.
I don't know, man. It's just crazy.
You know that
though.
bird?
I don't know that one.
Its wings are like the size of highway lanes, but its body's really small.
So are you saying that it's kind of like
it glides forever, finding food along.
So it's like
the
a
line.
dinosaur.
Sure, it's not, but yes.
In Jurassic Park,
But
they
yes.
talk about how dinosaurs evolved into birds. So
The chicken.
the chicken. Why did the chicken get on the ark?
Why the chicken cross the road? To get on the ark.
To get on the ark. But anyways, so all this stuff happens. He spends this time on the ark. He's chilling out. The story is very, very sad, actually, when you think of it. I mean, honestly, like that day that the floods came, and the people and the animals that did not make the ark.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to really think. Like, we don't talk about this ever. We don't teach this in kids. They all died. Like,
Right.
There was no saving them. Kind of sad.
Very sad.
It's very sad, actually. And so this happens. Sad day in humanity, but there was a lot of the scripture talks about it. There was a lot of just craziness that was going on, and God just kind of gets to this plate, and He's like, "What the crap are you people doing? Like, come on! Like, this is gross. Like, what's happening here?" And so He goes on, and this stuff happens, but then we learn in Genesis 8, and this is honestly one of my favorite parts about the whole story, because the story finishes with a promise. There's these things in Scripture called covenants, and it's this promise between God and humanity. And at that moment, it paints this picture of, there was this rainbow that appeared, and God shows Noah the rainbow and says that, here's where we're at. Like, I promise that I will never do this again.
Mm-hmm.
Noah, Scripture in Genesis chapter 8, verse 20 says that Noah built an altar to the Lord, and taking some of all the clean animals and clean birds, he sacrificed burnt offerings on it. The Lord smelled. That's crazy. I never got this one. Check this out. Did you just hear that? Like, he saved these animals from dying, and then he killed them. He killed them.
What animals did he kill that we don't have anymore?
What's going on? Like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that.
He sacrificed all the dinosaurs.
All the dinosaurs. That's what it was. It makes sense now.
Yeah.
So Noah sacrificed the dinosaurs to the Lord, and the Lord smelt it and was pleasing aroma, and said in his heart, "Never again will I curse the ground because of humans, even though every inclination of the human heart is evil from childhood. And never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done." That's like, he's making this promise. Like, look, when the storms come, when the rains come, you don't have to worry. I'm here for you. I've got you. I'm not going to do this again. And I think that is an awesome promise, because I'm telling you, there's been some rainstorms that I've been in that I've been like, this is it.
Like real rainstorms or metaphorical rainstorms?
Both.
Okay.
Both, sir. And,
yeah.
So it's just kind of crazy, but God promises to always be there for us. So, the things that you don't talk about in church sometimes with Noah and other stories that we've talked about, really kind of get your brain working a little bit, trying to figure some things out. And that's one of my favorite parts about faith. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, I think it's really cool how, like, learn something new just there when you're reading. But usually a lot of the older books and stuff you don't really think about. But there's so much stuff you can apply to your own life, like you're talking about the storms. Or even, like, putting yourself in Noah's place, you have this task that God has set upon you to build this ark. Maybe we're not building an ark, but we're doing something, and Noah gets all this ridicule from all these people, but he still does it because he trusts God's process. So there's still things, like, even in Genesis, way back then, you can still apply it to your own life. That
we're talking that starts in chapter 6, people.
Right. There's stuff in your life that you got to do that you feel like God's calling you to do, and you're going to get people to ridicule you. That's just how it goes. That's just what's going to happen. But it's up to you to stay on track and keep going.
Well, I'm going to say this. This also proves that you're never too old to do what God's calling you to do. Noah could have been like, come on, dude, seriously? 600 here. Like, have my kids, they're 200.
Yeah.
But, it's craziness.
Kids are 200 years old.
Come on. They're young. They're 200 years old. Go with them instead. But it's crazy though. But man, I love it. I love the story. If you've never read through it, I want to encourage you to read through it. Start there in Genesis chapter 6 and just start working that way. If you want to go back a little bit to chapter 5, you can learn a little bit more about Noah ahead of time. And but it's a very cool story, and you should definitely check it out. So hey, man, it's Monday. And God has promised you that He's going to be there even in the storms, and it's not going to be over when that storm comes. And I know sometimes a Monday can feel like a storm to you. Sometimes you can feel like you're drowning, but I just want you to know that God promises that He is always going to be there, even in the biggest of storms, even in the deepest of waters. He is right there with us in that time.
Yeah.
And so you need to go out and conquer the day, and do big things. Make a difference in somebody's life.
Yeah. Cheer up somebody.
Make a difference in the world. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know that you've got a big week ahead of you, but we can't wait to be back with you on Friday for the Morning Momentum. And go out, have a couple donuts this week, and we can't wait to be back with you again here in just a few days.
Do you have any donut recommendations, places?
Definitely Jim's Donuts in Vandalia.
Jim's Donuts
is definitely number one in my books.
Very nice.
Or I'm going to say this, like, there is just something about I'm not talking like go to the gas stations. Oh gosh, no. I'm not talking go to a gas station or Kroger or something like that and get it. I'm talking about fresh off the line Krispy Kreme donut.
Okay.
That is like magic.
Yeah.
Have you ever had one?
No, not fresh off the line.
Fresh off the line Krispy Kreme donut is magic.
Very nice.
So
I'll just throw Schuler's out there because you gotta put it in there.
Yeah, it's definitely below Jim's, but it's a good donut shop.
They are so sugary. It's crazy.
They are.
Probably don't eat it right in the morning. Maybe for a snack.
Yeah, get sugar high and then sleep all day.
Yeah.
So, well, we can't wait to be back with you on Friday. Go out, make a difference, have some donuts, share your donuts with somebody else, and we'll see you then.
See you Friday.
Bye.